Thank you, Father Kelly, Father Becker, Reverend Fathers, any honored guests, and my brothers. The more that I have prayed about how the Lord brought me to seminary, the more I realize it was Him, not I, who put that desire in my heart, who opened doors that led to seminary and closed doors that, had I gone through, I would have ended up either dead or in a place where I wanted to be. My vocation story, as I remember, began in September of 2011, when I had firmly decided that I wanted to follow Christ. Before this time, I had only gone to Mass and avoided sin because I feared my parents' wrath and figured that Christianity was correct. This all changed when I entered the high school youth group, with David Maslow, actually. At that beginning retreat, I witnessed a good friend of mine praising Christ and singing the words, "You, O Lord, are all our treasure. To do your will, our pleasure." It was through these words that I first encountered Christ in a personal way. From then on, my religion became less of a theory and more of a love affair. On a Saturday in October of that year, I had a big fight with my parents about some stupid math problem I had. It was after the fight that my parents gave me the worst possible punishment I could imagine. They asked me, "Is there ever a possibility that I would want to stop homeschooling?" My world ended. God had closed the door to continuing homeschooling and opened another door. I remembered a Catholic school called St. Agnes. I kid, it was Chesterton Academy. There were a lot of graces that were poured out upon me by Chesterton, including the possibility of becoming a priest. I had begun to consider the priesthood in my sophomore year of high school, how our chaplain, Father Joseph Johnson, would gaze at the Blessed Sacrament, how the teachers would gladly lay down their lives to open up the treasures of the church to the next generation. I began to see the church as it truly is, the bride of Christ. I saw the beauty of the church and began to wish that I could lay down my life for her, as Father Johnson and the teachers did. Just as soon as I was most certain that God was calling me to seminary, God sent a curveball. She was a vocations director's worst nightmare. Smart, funny, attractive, and devoted to her faith. This did lead to a lot of inner turmoil in my pre-seminary discernment. Eventually I said, "Forget seminary, I want to date this girl." Which is funny because when I usually replace God's plan with my own, I end up in noteworthy places. The day I was going to ask her out was the day that somebody else did too. I reacted much like St. Teresa of Avila did. "If this is how you treat your friends, Lord, then no wonder you have so few." I knew exactly what God was doing in this, but I didn't want to follow. This was the attitude I had going to Rome that March. This was the attitude I had when I was venerating a relic of the true cross. "God, I am torn. What is it you want from me?" I really don't know what happened, but as soon as I prayed these words, my feelings for the girl vanished, and the light of security flooded my heart, and all the shades of turmoil fled away. From then on, I knew what I was supposed to do next. Having been in seminary for the past 2.5 years has been one of the most important experiences in my life. It hasn't been the most pleasurable, but doing great things is never easy. I know in whatever vocation God calls me to, what He has given me through the seminary will help me more deeply and sincerely say, Praise be Jesus Christ.
Now and forever.